Well, welcome everybody to technically the first Agents Helping Agents webinar, but it's actually recording number 6 that we've got. And today we're with Edgar again. Thank you, Ed, for jumping back on. We recorded a video about 2 to 2.5 months ago, which was episode number 1 of Agents Helping Agents. And what this is about, this whole webinar is being brought together because we're finding agents in this current time are having real issues either getting listings or making sales. Now, the whole idea of the podcast originally was pretty much the same thing, just other agents helping other agents. And we hadn't released it yet because we're still waiting on a few more interviews. But I think it's more important to get these ones out now more so than ever. And what we've done is we've gone to episode 6. We'll release the other ones later on. We've gone straight to episode 6 because we're obviously all going through some pretty tough times with COVID-19. And all we're hearing from a lot of agents is we're not listing anything, we're not selling anything, and we're just going to leave the industry. So what I'm doing is the series is going to be all about this. I don't want to drag everyone through, how hard it's going to be, and I don't want to talk about the virus all that much. But at the end of the day, we have to, because that's realistically why we're here. So again, Edgar, thank you for joining me, especially bringing your fireball. I've got my whiskey as well. Great way to start a webinar, isn't it, mate?
Isn't it? Just like the old days, Zach.
It is.
Old Wednesday night ones that we did.
That's it. So thank you for taking out a bit of time from your afternoon on a Wednesday. This is before Easter. You've got a bit of a long weekend coming up, so you've got a lot to do beforehand. But I'm going to get straight into it, man.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
How has all this changed since the COVID has started for you in the last, technically about 3 to 4 weeks?
Yeah, I reckon it's week 3. Pretty sure it's week 3. We're probably heading to week 4. Everyone's freaking out, eh? So you can see listings are starting to drop down. Your potential listings that you had signed up are probably going to start pulling back. And no one's really sure about what the news is going to be and what the lockdowns and stuff is going to be. So I know every state is different. Yeah. So vendors are freaking out. Buyers, we're still getting buyer calls. I think everyone's probably still getting them, but the serious ones are coming. The ones that are just looking all dropped off. So I think there's less buyer inquiry, but more better quality, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So if you get an inquiry at the moment, they are a serious person looking to buy. So that's probably one point we probably need to talk about. We'll put it on a little bit later on, is buyers right now are probably more important than we've had in the past 4 to 5 years, because we've had such a great market in the 4 to 5 years. Is that correct for you guys?
Yeah. I reckon same thing. It's been such a great market. Luckily for us, I think a lot of people too. We've kept all the buyers' names and numbers. We did an audit this week. There's like 6,500 buyers on our locked on system for our CRM. So lucky for us, we can still push out to a lot of, if we get a property, we can push it out to a lot of people. So buyer management is probably going to be really important, as well as listing and appraisals and that kind of tracking and preparing yourself for later. But I think this is a time to knuckle down and get your systems right, get everything ready and start preparing, because it's going to be a tough, 6 months or whatever it's going to be. I reckon we're going to knuckle down and just get things right.
Yeah, so one of the things is we don't know how long this is all going to last for, because at the end of the day, all these different restrictions. I think currently Victoria was implemented today that you can't do open homes, we can't do open homes at all, but I don't even think you're allowed to do inspections now in homes that people live in. So you have to get a style property or something like that, which is just crazy. Obviously, we're in Queensland, which we're lucky we don't have that issue, and we've obviously changed to doing no open homes, which is, again, it's fine. We can adapt to it, all those kind of things. But it's just an interesting time, because each week, each day, we could be saying something tonight or today, and it'll change tomorrow, and this webinar will be pretty much obsolete. So
which I think is why bring everything forward to this webinar, and we'll just keep releasing the previous ones, eh?
Honestly, no point talking about the previous ones, because I think you and I had a massive conversation about open homes and how to attract more buyers after open homes. Well, you can't do that now, can you?
No, however, luckily I was lucky we're implementing the 360 camera and virtual tours. We were doing that months ago. So luckily we already had that in action. People are now obviously jumping on because they need to do it, because there's no other option for them. But I think I'm lucky that we were prepared heading this way anyway, and a lot of other people were as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to make some notes because I forgot about that. So 360-degree tours. And what I'm going to do is we'll go back to a few different things. So, and then Matterports. Now, let's actually focus on the buyer thing, because we spoke about before how buyers are more important than ever before. You're talking about how you're cleaning your systems up and getting more clean, and now's the best time to do it, because what else are you doing? You're either calling people or you're calling people. That's pretty much all you're going to be doing. Yeah. With the buyers and buyer matching, what are you doing? And the big question is, are you actually doing anything different to what you were doing 6 months ago with buyers?
Probably, because I think a lot of people, depending on where you are, but I think a lot of us don't focus too much on buyers. Because, you used to be able to, in the good old days, you list a house, you get 20 inquiries, 5, whatever it is, you get inquiries, there's a flood of them, you end up selling it pretty soon in the first few weeks. So you didn't really need to focus on buyers and database them and keep in contact and stuff like that. There's even agents that in some markets are lucky they can sell it in the first week or two, and who cares if they got 60 through their open house. However, we've been putting them all in there. So the difference for us, I think we're probably now customizing more properties to them, getting price reductions on properties, whatever, trying to buy and match it more than ever before, because, we've got the time now to actually specifically find them properties and send them all the virtual tours. So as we're getting new virtual tours done for all the properties, we're basically sending out another link. That's one thing. The other thing that we're doing is, because I've got my PA and, there's not the excess of overflow work that we used to have before, she's now going through our 6,500 buyers on the CRM, because someone's been there for a while, and we're finding she's doing 20 to 30 a day that actually bought a property. And we've got the mobile number, email address, full names. So now actually databasing anniversary trails, and we've got a keeping in touch, where it's like 12 points of contact a year. We're putting those trails on these buyers that actually now are allocated to a property. So in essence, my funnel is growing by 20 to 30 every day, because that's what she's doing. Prior to that, we didn't have the time to go through, all the buyers, but now she does, which is probably a good thing, to be honest, in the future, because 2 or 3 years down the track, everyone's going to be getting trials and anniversary letters, phone calls, which I wouldn't have done before.
So one of the things that, so Alinta, my partner, obviously works for, research and development for a big franchise brand. I'll try and keep this whole webinar non-branded for anything, because it's about everybody, not just a certain brand. And one of the things that she's told me to do and really focus on is cleaning up that database. So I've got 7,500 people that myself and my dad met over, he's been in real estate for 15, 16, 17 years before me. And then I've been doing it for 14 years. And my assistant is going through it, Talia is going through it and just cleaning stuff up. And funnily enough, there are so many people that have obviously sold that we're just cleaning out of the database. And there's so many buyers that we're finding that have bought, and they've been there for 4 to 5 years. And what's even funnier, or not funnier, but interesting, is that there are a lot of buyers that bought 4 years ago that have already resold again in the past 2 to 3 years. Yeah. So it is a really important time to go through that. So if we can talk about one focal point at the moment, then we talk about, or 2 focal points. Coming in and cleaning up your database is really important. So making sure that whenever we get out of this, we actually get out of this with the best database you can possibly have. 2, working with buyers. You've got hair underneath that hat, mate. I have not seen your hair for a long time. There you go. Good work. Normally I'll be wearing my hat too. 2 is obviously working with buyers is really a key factor. So when we talk about working with buyers now, and I just want to see, obviously everyone's going to be completely different. When you get a new listing, you send them the link for the 360-degree tour, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But the 360-degree tour, is that, do you try and identify hot people and send them a text message, or do you just blast your whole email address and just don't care because you just want everybody to know that things are still coming on the market?
Good question. All right, basically both. The same thing we used to do before, but we blast everybody that is in price range. So if we get a house, 400,000, everyone does it, right? 400,000, 4 bedrooms. We try and match anyone that can match 400,000, 4 bedrooms, and in the postcode. So now we're going basically, because I noticed a lot of people, even though they won't say, I don't know, name a suburb, usually they'll buy now 5 to 10 Ks further up. So now we're just doing postcodes, not actual suburbs anymore. We've noticed that people are buying outside the suburbs that they told us they only wanted in. And then we'll also print out because we've got extra time now, print out the hot buyers that are on there, go through those. Some of those already bought because we never had the chance to keep in contact all the time. So now we can clean them up, but also contact the hot buyers, see what they're looking for, and try to find them something. We're also getting into brand new house and land packages and developments because they're a lot easier. Commissions are good, instant access. So we're starting to implement that in the last 2 weeks as well. So, in the future, we could start matching those buyers to them in case that's an avenue we have to take because we can't do residential as easy as we did before.
Yeah. So if you go back to GFC days, and one of the things that That was pretty much when I started. It was back, actually, GFC was exactly when I started. I remember sitting in Dad's office, being his PA for like 3 months, something like that, seeing how amazing, you list a property up and 35 people turned up that night and 8 offers came through. And then all of a sudden we're like, you know what? Dad wants to open up his own office, which was the plan a long time. And the day that he signed the lease for our actual for the new company, GFC hit. So we were like, what the hell's going on there? So one of the things that we did with buyers is that we actually helped them find other agents' properties. So what we would do is obviously we would get our realestate.com.au alerts, and if, say we're looking at a unit in Chermside and we didn't have it, but a person was looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, double lock-up garage, looking between 450 to 500, we would actually send them that email, even though it might have been a completely different office and an agency. But what we were hoping to do is get their actual listing at the end of the day and really kind of work with them that way. Is that something, and again, it's a lot of hard work, but it worked for us back then. Is that something you would kind of be introducing to your agents, or is it something that you'd be trying to bring onto your team as well?
You know what? I totally forgot about doing that, eh? It just shows you, like you say, everything moves on so fast, you forget that you used to do that. Yeah. And ask for conjunctions or not ask for conjunction, but yeah, try to get their house for sale. Now, I mean, there's so much time now that agents are going to have a lot of time that they probably used to waste or stuff before. This is all the kind of stuff that they're going to start doing, eh? Preparing yourself, getting into new habits, because the market's going to change, eh? The world's going to change. And maybe this is something we've got to go back and start doing, servicing buyers.
But I think that comment there, what you just said that you'd forgotten about that, is exactly probably the reason why we need to be speaking to people that have been through the hard times. And look, there's going to be some great agents we're going to be interviewing over this period as well. But agents that have gone through the hard times, because the GFC was the hardest thing that we've ever done. And we had to, work with other people to kind of get money and survive and get through it and things like that. And who knows if this is going to be the same. So far at the moment, it's showing it's the same kind of thing. The greatest thing is, though, we've got Facebook. I don't even know if Facebook was around at the GFC.
I can't remember, right?
Neither can I. 2008. So going into your social media stuff and something you've been using for, I think you've been using for at least a year. I've been using 3D walkthrough tours for around 5 years, Matterport. So yours is a little bit different from mine. Your 3D scans or your 3D videos, how are you implementing them and what system do you actually use? Because I use something a little bit different from you, and I agree yours is better than mine in another way, and I think that mine is better than yours in a different way, but we'll go through that. So what's your 360-degree video?
Well, 360 tour, isn't it? You can do 360 videos, but those files are huge. So 360 tours are photos where you spin them around and stuff. Matterport's awesome, but obviously you need to get someone else to come in unless you can do it yourself, which you can actually if you use a Insta 360 One X. You can download the program and do Matterport. I haven't tried, but that's something if people want to do it. And then you just get yourself a Matterport login, and it's cheaper than actually getting someone else. But I use an Insta 360 One X camera and a monopod, which is just it's like a tripod, but it's just one. You stick a photo in every room, you upload it, you download it to your phone, whatever phone you've got, you download it, and then instantly upload it to Virtual Tours Creator, which is Thomas, a good friend of mine. He runs virtualtourscreator.com.au. It's like $5 a tour. Yeah, free plug for you, Tom. It's like $5 a tour. So basically, if you're on site with your photographer, you could just go in behind her or him and just stick your camera in every room, do a quick photo, like it's just 3-second countdown, take the photo, move to the next room, take the photo, upload it to his website, link all the rooms together. 5 minutes later, you've got yourself a 360 tour. It's super easy. So we're doing that because it's so quick.
Okay. So yours is similar to a Matterport. It's not an actual video, it's an actual walkthrough, or is it an actual video, but you're still walking through it? Just so I can understand a little bit.
All right, so Matterport's got a feature where you can click play and it'll automatically for you spin it around and then go to the next room and spin that around. Exactly the same thing, except the feature isn't there where you press play and it does it. You can spin the room around, go, there's the kitchen, click on the arrow that points to the kitchen, where Matterport would automatically take you there. And it goes to the kitchen, you can spin that around, go to the next room. Same thing, but it's not automated. But exactly the same thing.
So then, so I actually thought you used a different system. I thought that you used a video 360 degree where you could actually walk through the property and you could talk, and it would record your video your audio as well. Now that's something that
one, yes, I do that as well. I forgot about that.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you meant the 360 tours.
Well, it's in a way, it's I put them under the same banner because realistically, you're just bringing someone through, and they can spin the camera around, they can see what they want to see. So every agent so every agent has to make their own decision on what system works best for them. The benefits and the disadvantages, and please tell me if you think I'm wrong, because this is what this whole thing's about. The Matterport for me is better in the sense because it's a higher quality camera and you're able to spin around and able to zoom in. You're able to put tags on the video. So now you can put things like, a Bosch dishwasher and have a link to it and actually open it up from realestate.com. The problem I have with the actual video where you're walking through is that when it's on Facebook, it's kind of okay because you can move your phone around and it actually does what you need to do. But if you somehow off-center it, you actually have to press the little center button on the right-hand side, and most people don't actually realize that. The other part is when you're using the realestate.com.au app and the video is on that, it doesn't open up in the YouTube app, which it has to for the 360-degree scan to actually work. If you use it in the windows or in the little window that opens up in the actual realestate.com.au, you can't actually do the spin around. And it actually looks really weird, and people go, what? And I'll say it, what the fuck is this agent on about? Kind of thing. So I think, whatever system you use, I think right now is the time you need to adapt and you need to bring it in. But each one, you've got to be able to figure out what's going to be best for you. But if you're not doing 360-degree tours at the absolute minimum, if it's the system you're using with the video, or if it's a system where Matterport, which has been around for years, then I think realistically you're behind, the game when it comes to real estate. And right now we're seeing it all the time. And that's part of the reason why we're releasing these videos and doing these webinars, is that this is a lot of the question we're getting asked right now is like, holy crap, who's using 360? What do we do? How do we do it? How do we promote it? How do we put it, even load it on realestate.com? And that's where all the problems are coming up and why we want to have a chat about this. Yeah.
Now, I did do a video. If anybody wants to go to my Facebook page, just look me up. And there is a video where I explained for Thomas to, promote on how to do the 360 tours and how easy it is. But we were doing this ages ago purely because nobody else was doing it. Now it's probably a bit of a disadvantage for me because you guys, like everyone else is going to start doing it. Yep. Prior to this, go back a year, no one else was really doing it. So my point of difference in picking up listings was I can say, I'll give you a 360-degree photo tour or video for free because I've got the camera and the gear anyway. It's takes me 5 minutes. And no other agent could do it. So that was my point of difference. So we picked up listings because we could offer that. We picked up so many managements because we could offer that. And no other rental agency does it. But obviously now everyone's going to jump on board. So I've got to find the next thing to try to differentiate.
But in saying that, so I was talking to an owner and I'll name it. I was talking to an owner in Chermside, and there's 145 units on the market in Chermside. Okay, because it's just what it is. It's investment heaven. One had a 3D scan. Two.
So you can still call it a difference.
Yeah, two of them had videos. Now, when you open them, one was a certain company, and we won't talk about which, again, we're not going to call it any branding. The company just used the actual photos of what was already on realestate.com as a slideshow as their video. And then the other one was just one of those typical boring ones where the camera just went, oh, this is the kitchen, this is the bathroom, this is the balcony. It wasn't anything really great. So while we say this, a lot of people won't do it still. And realistically, it is one of the biggest things that I think will actually separate people. 4 years ago, I sold where I live in my complex. I sold a villa to a guy in Melbourne who didn't even come and have a look at the property. He saw the Matterport. He knew that he sent some parents around to have a look and realized there was 20, 30 people in the villa at the same time. And are you going to come online? Come on, Ghost. Oh, hello, Ghosty. Oh, no. Yeah. And we were able to sell it straight offline from that. So it is a tool that's been really good. So we're going to try and wrap up a little bit because we want to keep these on to around 15, 20 minutes.
All right, let's move on to the other stuff.
Move on to something else. Realistically, what are some last things that you want to tell people out there? We want to be honest about this. This is not going to be the greatest time for a real estate agent to be starting. We're not going to be making $10 million a year. Look, what's some kind of insight? What's some information? What can you kind of give the rest of the people watching this?
I reckon it'll be prepare. Just prepare. Not prepare yourself for a quiet time. Just prepare yourself so that when the market hits, because I reckon when it does come back to normal, it's probably going to be fucking busy. Yeah. Because everyone will just start getting houses. As soon as one house sells, they'll have to buy another one, and the whole effect will start rolling on again. So I reckon it's going to get busy once it's all over. I don't know when, but I reckon you need to prepare yourself. So get your buys in order, get all your anniversary stuff in order. Start getting in touch with all the people. Like we're prospecting calls, like with our prospecting calls. When we get the leads in, I put them on a trail. They're usually on a 10-year trail. It's got automated SMSs and starting cards. I'm modifying those obviously because of the virus that's coming through. And now I'm just saying, hey, Zach, how you going? I know we spoke a year ago. It would usually say, I'm here to help you if you'd like to buy or sell your house. We've got so many buyers in the system, that kind of stuff. Now I'm changing it to say, hi, Zach, I hope everything's well. I hope your family's safe. If you need anything, let us know, but I'll stay in touch. Just as simple, but I hope you're safe and well.
So realistically, time now is to keep the nurture your database. Yeah.
Is that you say keep the
relationship going. Yeah.
So we're just preparing for that. So we're keeping in touch. Basically, I'm trying everyone that I would have ignored before, didn't get a chance to contact. I'm just prepping and calling and putting everyone on trails and sending out anniversary calls and anniversary cards. Just everything that I can do to like build a relationship. So when they say, "Yep, I'm going to sell now. I'm not scared of this virus thing anymore." Hopefully, I'm one of the people with the foot in the door.
So I'm just going to call you out for 2 seconds because you said something about ignoring people. Do you know how common, and not just you, myself, and pretty much every agent that I know, how often do we ignore people that we should never ignore?
Absolutely. Like we got so busy. I mean, everyone gets busy when you start focusing on sales and stuff. And you know, the whole curve where you do that and you get busy and you get listings and you wait and you sell them all, then you go back and start listing again. Everyone does that. So when you get busy, you start ignoring the people that I've got a circle that says keep in touch every 6 months. They're like my hot leads, not hot leads, but hot vendors that I know will give me referral business. They've got multiple properties. Like they'll probably give me more work in the future. So they're people I want to stay in touch with all the time. And they include builders and multiple property owners and, you know, stuff like that, people of influence. But sometimes you get so busy that you haven't got time to call them all the time and just say, hey, how you going, Zach? So, ignoring them meant like I'll call them once a year rather than twice a year. But now there's lots of time so I can get back onto the basics, which is what we talked about before. Get back on the basics and just start doing what we should have been doing back in GFC days.
That's it. All right. So I'm going to finish up. Let's recap. So clean up your database. Make sure you're keeping in touch with people. Invest into either a 360 camera or getting a photographer, asking them if they've got the Matterport, or at least, talking to someone that's got it. And just building those relationships when while this time is down. So when the boom comes, and there's always a boom after there's a crash, as we always know, you're going to be the agent that's been in contact the whole time.
Yeah, and clean up your buyers, like all those buyers that you had for ages. Put them on trails. They obviously own a house, so if they own a house, you want to talk to them, eh?
Yeah.
And as well as keeping social media. So we're tweaking our social media, putting the ask with messenger bots and the ask questions and auto replies. So we're starting to tweak all that stuff as well and clean that up
I reckon we need to do another literal webinar literally on social media content and what we can do from that one there, because as I said, I want to try and keep this down to about 15, 20 minutes and whatnot. We're pretty much at our time. So, mate, thank you. I know you've got obviously you can't, your partner is in Adelaide normally over Easter. You guys can't fly at all. So, mate, happy Easter to you and your family. And
thank you. They'll probably do a lot of cleaning up the house and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. I'll be cleaning up the house right here. Mate, thanks again for joining in. It's been a couple of months since we've chatted, so we'll speak soon. And guys, head out to Edgar if you've got any questions. He's always happy to help. He's one of the admins and owners of the real estate community. If you don't follow or not part of that, jump on. And there's a lot of agents actually helping each other. It's been started for many years now. That's one of the biggest communities around. So if you're watching this already on that community, then great. If you're watching it somewhere else, jump on over to the real estate community. But if you have any questions, please send me an email directly at agentshelpingagents@gmail.com. And that way then we can actually start asking some of the guys that we're interviewing as well, if there's anything you're battling with, or if you're seeing it on any social media platforms at all, make a comment or send me a direct message. Zach McHardy here. You can find me on all the social media websites. But Edgar, mate, thanks again for checking in, and we'll catch you soon. And hopefully you come out of this as well as you did in the GFC.
Thanks, man. And happy Easter, everyone, when it's coming up. See ya.
See you, mate. Bye.